Illinois State University is hosting a series of events celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. Tomorrow, Ph.D. candidate Edcel Cintron-Gonzalez will present on how mental health is weaved into child and adolescent graphic novels. Cintron-Gonzalez tells WGLT's Melissa Ellen how he got interested in the topic.
Right now, it's the anniversary of Hurricane Maria when it happened in Puerto Rico back in 2017. So I think my interest has always been there ever since I survived the hurricane while I was in the island. There's no words to describe how difficult and challenging it was. Spending months without electricity, water, and basic necessities has really caused detrimental change in my life, but also my mental health as well.
We've now talked about how you took a personal interest in this. I'm curious when you started really finding literature, seeking literature, and doing research about the intersection of mental health and Latinx literature.
So with mental health specifically, that's my current dissertation project. And I think I've always had an interest, and I think this is not only an academic project, but also a personal project for me too, because through this project, I'm also learning more about the importance to advocate for mental health, but more specifically, how youth literature can be a sliding glass door. And I'm using the metaphor by Bishop, where a sliding glass door says that children's literature is supposed to serve as a gateway for people, because a lot of the picture books, they dedicate resources for both children and parents to read about certain mental health issues. They're creating the conversations to stop the stigma and make it more safe, as in a safe space to talk about these issues and to normalize it.
And talk to me just about the various ways mental health is represented through the literature you'll be sharing.
One of the graphic novels I'll be talking about is Frizzy by Claribel Ortega, which talks about Marlene, a young Dominican girl, where she faces her biggest rival, which is the hair salon. Because Marlene's mom, for example, she always goes to the salon every weekend to straighten her hair. She's teaching her daughter to do the same thing, like not loving her frizzy hair and just straightening it out. Marlene hates it, and you can tell in the graphic novel that she hates going to the salon. She hates straightening her hair. And what's magical about this graphic novel is that thanks to the media, because Marlene's obsessed with this superhero who looks like her, has frizzy hair, and she's living her best authentic life and owning it. Thanks to her aunt and thanks to her friends, Marlene's able to get the support she needs and realize that, having frizzy hair is not a bad thing. And when I first read Frizzy, the first thing I thought to myself is, I wish my mom had this graphic novel when she was young. And maybe that would have made a good impact in her life and perspective.
And we're talking about children's, middle grade, adolescent literature, but what I'm gathering from this conversation too is that it's impactful for even adults. So I'd love to talk a little bit more about that, because I assume you're not going to be talking to a room full of just children tomorrow.
I'm expecting to see faculty, students, for example, as the majority of the audience. I think the main thing that I want from everyone to get from my talk is to realize that we as adults can benefit a lot from youth literature, that it's not just for kids, it's not just for entertainment. It is a genre where we learn about other people's histories and experiences in meaningful ways. And I think a lot of us can learn from that, because regardless of our age, regardless when we start our mental health journey, it's never too late to start that journey. And I think that's what each of these child characters are doing in these different graphic novels, that throughout their journey, they realize that they're suffering certain challenges, but they create that knowledge and awareness of that. And that's the first step to move forward.
Edcel Cintron-Gonzalez will host the discussion on Latino mental health and youth literature tomorrow afternoon at 4 in room 314 of Williams Hall. That's on ISU's campus. Melissa Ellen covers mental health as a Report for America Corps member. Report for America places journalists in local newsrooms across the nation to cover underreported topics.
Support for WGLT mental health coverage comes from Report for America and Chestnut Health Systems, caring for the community's physical and mental health and celebrating 50 years of service.